Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we're diving into a report from Penske Automotive Group. Get ready for a ride that's less about horsepower and more about, well, let's just say there's a director with a unique side hustle. If you're interested in getting insights from corporate reports, don't forget to subscribe. We also have a Discord community linked below. This report is called a Form 8K. And it's basically an update for investors about some important things that happened at Penske Automotive Group. The date on this report is May 14, 2025. One of the main things in this report is about an agreement Penske has with Mitsui USA. It's called an amended and restated services agreement. What this means is that they changed and updated an old service agreement they had. Under this agreement, an employee of Mitsui USA, Yosuke Kawakami, who is also a member of Penske's board of directors, is going to help Penske develop new business and relationships in the transportation industry. He'll also be checking out new technologies in the car and truck world. Basically, Penske is paying for his help and advice on where the company should be going and what new stuff they should be looking at. Penske is paying Mitsui USA a quarterly fee of $87,500 for these services. That means every 3 months, Mitsui USA gets this payment for their employees' work and advice. So over the year, Penske is paying Mitsui USA $350,000, which is roughly $30,000 a month. It's worth nothing that this could raise questions about whether this director is acting in the best interest of all shareholders or prioritizing the interests of Mitsui. This part of the report is required when a company has deals or relationships with people who are closely connected to the company, like its directors or major shareholders. It's called a related party disclosure. This helps investors see if there might be any conflicts of interest. This is an agreement that involves Roger Penske, who is the head of Penske Automotive Group, and also Mitsui. Basically, the Penske companies agreed to vote their shares for 2 directors who are representatives of Mitsui as long as Mitsui owns a good chunk of Penske stock, and for 1 director as long as Mitsui owns at least 10% of the stock. Mitsui also agrees to vote their shares for up to 14 directors chosen by the Penske companies, and it means the parties involved are voting for each other's choices of directors. Both Penske companies and Mitsui have something called registration rights. This means they have the right to register their shares of Penske's common stock, which allows them to sell those shares to the public. They can do this a couple more times according to the agreement. They can also include their shares in any registration of securities that Penske does. Penske Automotive owns a little under 29% of Penske Truck Leasing, or PTL. Penske Corporation owns about 41% and Mitsui owns 30%. They operate under the brand name Penske Transportation Solutions, which offers services like truck leasing, rental, maintenance, and logistics. PTL has an 11-member advisory board. Penske Automotive gets to pick 1 member and also has an observer for any board committees. One of Penske Automotive's presidents serves as their representative. Interestingly, 2 of Penske Automotive's directors are also on the advisory board of PTL. Penske Automotive has the right to receive quarterly distributions equal to at least 50% of PTL's net income. Also, Penske Automotive and Mitsui have minority rights, meaning their approval is needed for certain actions taken by PTL. The partnership agreement allows each of Penske Corporation, Mitsui, and Penske Automotive to start the process of an IPO, or initial public offering, for PTL's stock, with some limitations. And think of this as opening the door for Penske Truck Leasing to become its own publicly traded company in the future. An Australian subsidiary of Penske and an Australian affiliate of Mitsui have an agreement where Penske will provide maintenance services for power systems. This is expected to generate about $750,000 in revenue over 2 years, or about $375,000 per year. Under the old services agreement, another Mitsui employee helped Penske with business opportunities and checking out new technologies. In the past year, Penske paid Mitsui $350,000 for these services. This part talks about the results of the votes that happened at Penske Automotive's annual meeting of stockholders, which was held on May 14, 2025. At the meeting, the stockholders voted on a few important things. First, they voted on who would be on the board of directors. All 13 people who were nominated were elected to the board. This means they'll serve as directors until the next annual meeting or until they decide to leave or are removed. Next, the stockholders voted to approve the choice of Deloitte & Touche LA as the company's independent accounting firm for 2025. The stockholders agreed with the company's choice. This means Deloitte will be responsible for checking and verifying Penske's financial statements. Finally, the stockholders voted on the compensation for Penske's top executives. This vote is advisory, which means the company doesn't have to follow the stockholders' recommendations, but it does give them an idea of what the stockholders think about how the executives are being paid. Penske announced that the board of directors declared a quarterly dividend of 1.26 cents per share. This dividend will be paid on June 3rd, 2025 to shareholders who own the stock as of May 27, 2025. Penske's board also gave management the go-ahead to buy back an additional $250 million worth of the company's stock. This brings the total amount they can use to repurchase stock to about $295.8 million SEMD. This can increase the value of each remaining share of stock. Now let's step back and look at what all this means. Penske Automotive seems to be making moves to stay competitive. The agreement with Mitsui for strategic advice could be valuable, but it also raises questions about potential conflicts of interest. The company has strong ties with Mitsui, which is a significant partner in Penske truck leasing. This relationship brings both opportunities and potential risks. Isley. The steady dividend payments are good news for investors, indicate share repurchase authorizing the steady. Dividend payments are good news for investors, indicates share repurchase authorizing is a sign that Penske believes its stock is undervalued, but it's essential to ensure that the company isn't using its cash reserves unwisely. The steady dividend payments are good news for investors, indicating the company's financial stability. Overall, Penske Automotive appears to be in a stable position, but investors should keep an eye on how these relationships and strategic decisions. Alright, that's our breakdown of Penske Automotive Group's latest filing. What's your take on these moves and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.